If you are the Republican leadership, and this is what your goals are, your goals are to give huge tax breaks to the very richest people in this country. Your goals are ultimately to privatize Social Security so that Wall Street can make money from that. Privatize Medicare so the insurance companies can make more money. Privatize education. Do away with public schools. If those are your goals and you said that to the American people, you think you get a lot of lower. There are many members of the Congress today, Republicans, who not only will not raise the minimum wage, which is $5.15 an hour, you know what they will tell you, honestly? They believe in abolishing the minimum wage. Did you know that? Check it out. Telling you the truth. So that if Americans can work for $3 an hour or $2 an hour, not a problem. Now, if you had an agenda like that and you went before the American people, tax breaks for the rich, destruction of Medicare, destruction of Social Security as we know it, lowering the minimum wage or abolishing it, how many votes do you think you'd get? Not a whole lot. Maybe the richest 1% would vote for you.
This is a look at someone who should have been a two-term president that represented the people of this country. Instead, the DNC screwed this man 2 times over and fumbled what would have been Democratic dominance.
I don't mind people who are upfront about that. Okay. Give the rich more tax breaks, we can argue that. But that doesn't win you elections. So this is what you do. What you do is divide people up. When you asked me your question, how do I get elected? I said, I try to bring people together. We fight for women's rights. We support the rights of minorities. We support the rights of workers. We bring the majority of people together. And occasionally, honest people will have differences of opinion. In this room, there will be differences of opinion. But everybody in this room is in agreement that everybody should have health care, right?
And the reason this clip of Bernie Sanders is going viral is because it's timeless.
Donald Trump is a scab. Donald Trump is a billionaire, and that's who he represents.
Sean Fain, meanwhile, is in a similar boat.
President Trump spent 4 years in office distinguishing himself as the most anti-union president of the last 3 decades. He appointed Eugene Scalia, one of the nation's top anti-union lawyers, to be his Secretary of Labor. Under Trump's administration, the National Labor Relations Board implemented sweeping new rules that made it harder for workers to form unions, rules, by the way, that Joe Biden reversed when he took office.
And this is what a lot of folks voted for in the 2024 election.
Donald Trump has a history of serving himself and standing for the billionaire class, and that's contrary to everything that working class people stand for.
Fain knows it.
Trump packed the courts with anti-labor judges, people like Thomas Farr, who spent his career bringing cases before the courts to weaken unions. President Trump made it harder for workers to earn overtime, and he gutted the federal agency in charge of workplace safety.
And this is our reality on labor.
For 3 decades,
Mercedes has pulled in billions in profit
off the millions of cars we've built.
Mercedes executive pay goes up,
while Alabama auto workers fall further behind. The brand may be foreign, but the labor is American. American non-union auto workers are getting a raw deal.
That's why over 1,500 of us at Mercedes in Alabama have signed union cards
and are joining the United Auto Workers.
How does this relate to the NFL? Specifically, say, Lambeau Field and the Green Bay Packers. Well, in a time of serious crises, I want to show just a dot of good news, okay? Via More Perfect Union, a YouTube channel, they're on TikTok as well. I've seen some of their stuff on Instagram, obviously, as I'm going to show you here. I think they do fantastic work. I think John Russell is awesome. They have what seems like a really solid crew putting together really good videos on labor. So via More Perfect Union. Lambeau Field workers scored their first union contract. Yeah, buddy. They write, the contract doubles the base compensation rate for almost all current vendors. Other vendors and new hires will see immediate 20% pay raises and, just had lunch, 60% total pay increases over 3 years. Let's go further. In December of 2023, an election was set to be held by the NLRB, or National Labor Relations Board, after the workers waited 2 months for the company to either recognize the union or force a vote. What do you think they chose? So the Packers, it should be noted, use a company called Delaware North Services. That is the exclusive provider of food and bevy services at Lambeau. The result was astounding. Over 80%, I saw a number that was more near 90% of workers voted to unionize, as they should. 1,000,000% yes. Peter Rickman, president at Milwaukee Area Service and Hospitality Workers Organization, would say the following, quote, "This victory was an overwhelming validation of the strength and unity that vendors have built, a showing of solidarity that when working people stick together, we can fight and win." Number one, a great message. Number two, something that I wish more Americans would adopt, would read up on, would understand. Class consciousness and class unity are the pillars of freedom and rights for all. This is a class war that the top 1% has put on us. They have put in stooges in order to try and stop these movements. It should be no surprise that when you remove a party affiliation and just go over straight labor, how it will benefit those in the working class, leftist policies succeed. And here's another instance of it. They will join MASH, or, as we said, the Milwaukee Area Service and Hospitality Workers Union, which currently has the workers at Pfizer Forum, where Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks play their home games, via WPR. The others on this list with MASH are the Pabst Theater, Riverside Theater, Turner Hall, the Fitzgerald, the Back Room at Collectivo, and Miller High Life Theater. The Milwaukee Business Journal would add, as well as pay issues, the contract also covers staffing and scheduling, creates disciplinary procedures, and sets up a labor management committee. More Perfect Union would add in a Twitter thread. Green Bay vendors work off of commission as low as 5%, which is awful. Awful. By the end of the contract in 2027, all unionized beer vendors will be making a 10% commission. So double. It's a good jump. The beer vendors also won job security, just cause, and scheduling protections, as well as the creation of a labor management committee, giving them a seat at the table. So I end with this. And it's a plea, more so than anything. Organize your workplace. Get in touch about starting a union. Be protected. It is not only good for you and your coworkers, unions are good for the United States. Class unity. Preach it on. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.